Yeah, I'm able to log in with the Windows authentication one.
When you give SQL authentication mode and password, you are getting login failed error. The error says login does not exist or some issue with the
Yeah, with
login,
that.
SQL login. So
Yes.
that information you can see in SQL Server error login, where you are checking that error message here while connecting or in the SQL Server error log.
No, while connecting.
While connecting, fine. Just
Like the same
go
error
to
which you got right now, I got it.
yes, fine. So if you're in front of the system, just go to the install media, that is uh, and think in your machine you have installed on C drive, C program files, MS SQL Server, the instance name and MS SQL log. Okay, just open the latest log. You are able to see my screen.
Yeah, I'm able to see. You want me to open?
Open the yes latest log file. Here you will see little more
Where can I
SQL
find
Server.
that log file?
Correct. In which drive you have installed SQL Server?
In C drive. In C drive.
Okay. So you want to find where is your SQL Server log. This is a good question.
Yeah.
Just go to SQL Server, services.msc.
So this is. I have to
Our SQL
open.
Server.
See.
Just see my screen. Later you will just follow my navigation. I just open the SQL
Okay.
Server services. And
I
then
need to just use that run command, right? In the run command.
correct.
Okay, in the run command, I should type as. Can you just tell me that what I'm supposed to type?
Services.msc.
Okay, yeah, services.msc. Okay.
Okay. So once you open the services, so you look for SQL Server services.
Yeah, it's loading for me. One second. Okay, SQL Server. Okay. It's still loading. So that should be in the started mode, right?
Yeah, that is started mode. Now the why I am showing this navigation is your first question is where my SQL Server logs. Right,
Okay,
I'm
I
in your
got the window SQL Server.
right click on it. Go to properties.
I have many files with the same name, SQL Server.
Yes, the instance which you are trying to connect.
Yeah, it is the SQL Server Ashwita, like the name which I have given, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, right
Okay,
click on
I
it.
have to right click on it. Okay, and
Go to properties.
okay.
So in the
Yeah,
general tab, you could see the path to the executable.
yeah, path to executable. Yes,
Yes. So what is the location?
it is
Write the
autumn.
location.
It is C drive. Yeah.
So
So I need
copy
to copy.
till bin, before bin.
Okay, before bin or even I need to go.
Bin before bin, MS SQL.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay.
And then open that location.
You mean the one which I, okay.
Yes, you copied. You just that is drive program files, Microsoft SQL
Okay, I
Server,
need to
MS
open the
SQL.
run program again and paste it over there.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. And then,
There
okay.
you are seeing you can see a bunch of
Yeah, I
folders,
could
right?
open it. Yeah.
Just go to log.
Okay. You don't
And
currently have permission to access this folder.
continue.
Okay. In that, what am I supposed to open?
Log. Folder
Yeah,
log.
I can find many error logs in that.
Yes, in that the latest error log.
Okay.
Okay. Open that and uh, scroll down and see what kind of error message you are seeing for your login
Okay.
failure.
Login failed for. Okay, a login failed for user authority network service. Reason failed to open the explicit specified database.
Okay.
Recovery is complete. This is an informal message only. No user action is required.
Last error log. So you are telling like you failed to connect with SQL authentication. You specified
Yeah.
username, correct? So what
Yes.
username you specified? Sorry, what user?
Uh, I just specified the name, like I just gave it as my name, the username.
Correct. Just read the error log when you try to give your name as a username. In the error logs, that log will be there. If you are unable to find it, just find it, Control F, and give Ashwita. Yeah, you will see a log entry in that.
Control F, find Ashwita.
That is
Okay,
the
fine,
name you have given.
next.
That is the name you have given as a login, right?
Yes, yes. I
Then
have
today
given
or
as all capitals.
yeah, fine.
ASHWITH.
Uh, uh, so when you try to connect it now or yesterday?
It was yesterday. Even now, now I didn't try.
Okay. So after your SQL Server restart,
Okay.
okay. So I mean after you restart your server, when
Mm-hmm.
did you start your machine?
I just opened, I mean, now I just opened it, but I didn't try to log in.
Okay. My question is when the SQL Server restarted, before the session or yesterday?
Yesterday.
So from yesterday, your SQL Server is still running. You didn't shut down your laptop.
I did. I shut down. I
So that
closed
means you have,
the.
okay. So just to open the previous error log, minimize the current error log and go to error log 1 or error log 2 and search for the same
Okay.
login.
Okay.
So whenever the SQL Server restart, a new error log will be created. So after yesterday's
Okay.
session, if you restart, if you shut down your machine, nothing but down the services, correct? So today
Okay.
when you start your services, a fresh log will be created. In that case, to find your the error message, you have to search yesterday's log, correct?
Okay. Yeah, understood.
You just go to error log.1 or error log.2 and search for the error message.
Okay.
So you want me to make you as a presenter?
Like I'm able to do it. Okay, got it. Open. The same error is coming. Thing. Okay.
Okay, can you able to reproduce the same error message now?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
trying. It is the same error like I'm getting. It was with my name. Even with yesterday's error log, I'm finding the same error.
yes. Can you read that error log, error message now?
Actually, I can't find the error exactly. I just tried it with Control F. Error is security
Okay.
login failed for user authority network service reason failed to open the explicit specified database local
Okay,
machine
okay, fine.
recovery is complete message no user action is required.
Just close that. I will be making you as a presenter. Mm,
Do you want me to do it after the class? Because if you're getting late.
yeah, anything is fine. Yes, after the class we can spend some time and do that.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I see Shirisha joined. I don't know whether Naga is going to join or not. Okay, we will continue our today's topic. Yes, yesterday we have seen how to create a database. Okay, so while we are creating a database, what kind of files we are seeing? So in a database, we do have two kinds of files. Those are data files and log file. Uh, the first data file is called a primary data file, and with the extension MDF. So that the log file with the extension .ldf. You can create one or more data files. That can be data file or log file. If you create any other data file, those are called secondary data files with the extension .ndf. Log files, if you create other log file, secondary log file, the extension would be LDF only. Okay, so a database must have at least one data file and one log file. A group of data files is called file group.
Srinivas, we are unable to see your screen.
Now,
No.
Yes.
yeah, now can you try? I stopped and reset the screen again.
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay. So when you create a new database, the objects that will be copied from model database uh, to the newly created database. So right click on a database and create new database. You specify the database name and database logical name, that is for data file, and log file you'll specify, and the place where the files are residing, that is path for those database files. And then after that you will consider the growth related of parameters. Those are what would be the current size and what is the future growth, so that you can be by using auto growth. So rather than allocating the complete size to the database, we can increase the database size automatically whenever it utilizes the current space. So if you select the auto growth, automatically current size is utilized, database will grow in a percentage or in a megabyte. You can choose it as a percentage. Let us say if I give 80%, 80% of size will be grown whenever it completely full. That is 90% is full. A new percentage value will be allocated. Or else if you give megabytes, so a fixed value will be keep on increasing whenever our database is required. So here maximum file size, restricted and unrestricted. Restricted. So if you want to restrict a file in a particular div, you can restrict the file size. Let us say see, I have total 5 database files. Those are available in C drive, D drive, E drive, and F drive. Okay, here the MDF, this is the primary data file. Correct, this is the primary data file, and this is the secondary data file. LDF, this is the log file. This is again secondary data file, and this is other log file. So if you see C drive, D drive, E drive, and F drive, so all these are in different drives. Let us say I want to, this drive is size of, each drive is size of 100 GB. Correct. C drive, C drive is a OS disk. I don't want to let it full more than 50%. Okay. So in that case, so what is there in C drive? My database file is there. So I don't want to increase more than 50%. Correct. In that case, what I can do is I can restrict the file growth till 50 GB. Right. Coming to other drives, I don't have any restriction. That means the file which is in the D drive can grow until 100 GB. Correct. Similarly, E drive, I don't have any restriction. In that case, I can keep the file growing until 100 GB. F drive, the DB file also can grow until 100 GB. Again, coming back to D drive, it has L drive. If you see D drive, two files are there. Here LDO file is there, here LDO file is there. This file is grown. This also a little extent it grown. Here that means both the files together can utilize 100 GB of space. Correct. It also, if required, log file can grow till 100. Your DB file, data file also can grow till 100. So these two files are sharing the same location. Got it? So here, by using restricted, unrestricted, you can customize the growth of a file in a particular drive. Clear? If you restrict, the file will not grow beyond that value in that particular location. If you remove auto growth, the entire database will not grow once it reaches to the available specified database size. Okay, that is auto growth. Auto growth is one of the database option. Clear. So to create a database, you have to specify file names and file sizes. the location for those files, data file and log file, and those file group names. Let me script it, and I clicked on script action to new query window, cancelling it. Right, so all these are DB options. Let me remove it. We will discuss. Yeah, if you see here, these are the things: minimum size, maximum size, the location, file name, file group, the auto growth size, all we have specified. My question, if I, right, if I run this query, a database will be created with the name, provided database name, in which location, here in the corresponding location it will create, and what would be file minimum size, it will be having 2 MB, and auto growth value I have specified. Okay, so all values you can able to see here. If I run this query, it will create a new database with labdb1 file. If you see the other syntax, other query, here what is there? Can someone read it?
Create database students.
Okay. If I run this query, what will happen? Will it complete or okay? Let me run the previous query. Okay, this is the bunch of TSQL with the 4 lines. I'm passing it. I executed it. Commands completed successfully. Okay, and then I'm refreshing my databases. I see a database. Clear. Now I'm selecting the second portion, that is new query, that is create database name. I haven't provide anything else. I didn't provide anything. So now the question, if I run this query, will it complete or will it throw any error? What would be the end result of this query? Correct, it is equivalent to above 1, right? In this previous query, I have added all these details to create database name. Here, coming to here, I try to run only the 3 statements. So what will happen? Pooja, did you reconnect?
Yeah, I did. It is visible now.
Yes. So can you tell what will happen if I run the command? So will this query will throw any errors?
Mm,
Yes, no,
yes, maybe.
maybe. Okay. Pooja,
Yeah, I'm the one who told it.
oh, is it? What about, oh, sorry. Ashwita, what is your answer from your end? Ashwita offline. Okay, Sirisha.
I think it will create the database.
Okay. Let us run it. I have paused it and executed. Commands completed successfully. In the previous window, commands completed successfully. The end result is success. It created a database. Let me refresh. A database name for student. Right. The model database, it contains all the templates. Whenever we are creating a new database, templates will be copied from model database. If you specified the options parameters, it will take at the time of database creation. if you don't specify the default, the templates and the conversion naming conventions, the values that will be applied from the model database. So now if I just specify create database name, a database is created even though I haven't specified the name of data file, name of the log file, and the location where the database files, data file and log file resides, and what is the minimum size, maximum size, compatibility level, other DB parameters. Even though if I haven't specified any of these parameters, a database has been created. Correct? So how it created? The template, the instructions came from MSDB database. Okay, clear. Now we will see few of the database options. If you create any of the database, you will have few database properties. So right click on a database and select the properties. Here you will see general, different tabs are available. So files, in this tab you can add or work on file initialization. That means if you want to expand the database size, like you have already restricted to 50 GB, you want to increase another 10 GB, so that what you can do, you can go to auto growth tab and you can increase the value in restricted. You want to add a new file, add a file, give the details of a new data file, which file group we are keeping, the same file group or new file group, what would be the initial value and auto growth value restrictions, and the location for those newly created secondary data file. Okay, let us see the script, what syntax it is parsing. Okay, click on OK. So a new database file is created for master data students. So previously my student have one data file and one log file. Even though I haven't specified, after creating student database, I am checking the entry will be available in sys databases. So the student's entry is added as a these are the system store procedure system views we are using to read the data. If I want to get only details about student, specify parameter sp underscore help db student name, you will get the details. So database name does not exist, brackets is not available. Okay, if you see, the database is having two database files, primary data file and secondary data file, and one log file. These files are residing in this location. Data files belongs to belongs to primary file group. Log file not have any file group. The size is initial size, maximum size. Both the files are set to unlimited, and the growth is, one is log file is set to percentage, data files are set to fixed value. From here you can see what file it is, data file or log file. That is file. From file you can add any new database files depending upon the database growth. File groups, by using file groups tab you can manage your file groups. You can add one more file group, new file group. You want to keep it as default. That means whenever you create a new data file, that will be part of new data file group. Right, yesterday in our demonstration we have seen. That is, if I want to keep all the files related to each month, I'll keep in one file group. So in this we have partitioned the files depending on the file groups. So all the transactions, all the sales, orders, related information in March, sorry, January month, we will let it to go in one location. So February one location, March one location, like that. You can customize your database files by using file groups. Okay. Next, database options. Here do you see first one is collation. By default it will come with your SQL Server installation instance. So the database level collation can be changed, but the instance collation settings cannot be changed. This is only applicable to the database, whether the instance entire it is coming for entire server. That's why you cannot change it. The recovery model. So we will discuss in the recovery model in the next topic, because this is one of the important feature in the SQL Server. So entire recovery, that means the data which is writing into the file, that is page, depending upon the recovery model that we selected. So we will have a detailed discussion on the recovery model. In SQL Server, we have three types of recovery model: full, bulk logged, and simple. A database should have any one of this recovery model. This is one database option. Next, the compatibility. Since I created a database, have a lower compatibility, you can keep it. That is SQL Server 2005 90. If it 2000 SQL Server 2000 means 80. Let's say if you install SQL 2012, it is 110. In that case, it will have its lower compatibility values. Correct. Now I cannot create a database in 2012, because this is the 2008. That 2012 components is not there. So, but I have a backward compatibility. So lower versions related database, I can keep my database in a lower value, that is 90 and 80 I can keep. Clear? Any questions? These database level options are unique to each database. Each database will have their own database options. So the next one is auto close. What is a sleep mode in your laptop? What does sleep mode will do? Ashwita, did you connect back?
Yeah.
Yes. Able to see my screen?
Yeah, I'm able to screen.
Yeah, now we are discussing about database options. So one of the database
Yes.
option is auto close. So what we're telling is auto close is equivalent to our sleep mode in our laptops. So sleep mode, what it will do, whenever we are not using the laptop, automatically specify after the specified minutes or seconds,
Time,
it will go.
yeah, it will get back to the sleep mode.
Sleep mode. That means the database server will be idle and it's kind of shut down. Correct.
Yes.
Even though the service are up and running, but no one can able to access your
see the
laptop.
processing or yeah, okay.
All will be in a sleep state.
Sleep,
So
yes.
yes, similarly, auto close is one of the database option. What it will do, it will keep the database shut down when there are no connection to the SQL Server database.
Okay.
So auto close, it is by default it will be false, because the reason it is, whenever it is coming up, it will go to the recovery phase again. That will take overhead on the database, and also the disadvantage is, at the time when a user try to connect the database, the connection will be failed, because the database is in halt state. It will not accept any new connections. So my application feels like database is down.
Okay.
That's why by default it will be a false state. If you really require to keep the database in auto close, we will turn it off. That is one of simple feature. You can select it. Next, auto shrink. Any idea what is shrink?
No.
Naga, have you ever heard about what called shrinking? Shrink.
It is like minimizing.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, most of the times we use compression, right? WinZip or WinRAR. So what it will do?
Yes. It
It
is.
will
It
try
will
to
reduce the space of the file.
correct. Yes, it will try to reduce from the actual size. Correct. Yes.
Hello.
Similarly, yes.
Srinivas, sorry. Just now I connected to go to meeting.
Okay.
I miss all the
Yeah, that is
session.
what sometimes yeah, no problem. You can cover that in the recap. And we discussed about the yesterday topics, and we started discussing about database properties.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Auto shrink. When the database is auto grown, what will be happening? Automatically the database is growing whenever it is required. Shrink. When we can shrink, whenever there is a free space inside it, we can release to the operating system. If there no space, you cannot do it. So similarly, let us say my transactions are happening to the database. The database has grown. So when we delete the records in the database, what will happen? The data is inside the table, inside the database, inside the page, we will see the free space. When we insert it, the data will be added in the form of pages. So new pages will be created. When we remove it, when you delete the record from the table, the data will be cleared in the page. Okay, that free space will still remain in your database, correct? That releasing the unused free space from the database is called shrinking. Okay, if the free space is available in the database, we will see a result. If no free space is available, we cannot shrink the database. If we shrink, no result will be found, right? So if you have a free space in it, you can able to release. If no free space, you cannot release it. That is auto shrink. What auto shrink will do? Every time it will try to release the free space. Wherever it finds some free space, it will try to release it. So in another way, whenever you need, you can do it, right? If you continuously every time you try to remove the free space, what will happen? Again, it is a overburden to your SQL server. A new job is, new task is happening in the background. What it will do? It will always try to find whether free space is there in the database or not. If database is there, it will try to shrink it. At the time any user try to connect to the database, So they will perform latency, and their sessions will be blocked. There will be waiting state. Okay. Coming to our general day-to-day life example. Let us say in your home, if dust is there, we will sweep it. Correct? For every 5 minutes, if you keep on coming, checking, sweeping, how it will be? So what will happen if every 5 minutes a machine comes and it will check all the rooms and it will sweep if any dust is there? Or in a daily once, or whenever dust is there, machine comes and it will sweep the rooms. So which one you feel comfort?
Second one.
Means daily, every 5 minutes?
No, the second one. Like whole day it will see whenever the dust is there and.
Yes. So if you think about it, so the moral, the idea it is, whenever we need to remove the dust. So only removing the dust means every 5 minutes we are removing the dust. That means the result is accurate. Correct? Not only here the accurate, we have to see how that operation, the task is useful to us. Whether because of the task, or am I facing any other problems, any delay on it. If it is really giving a advantage, it's better to use it. That's the reason in a auto shrink, what will happen? A internal background process is keep on running, and it will check whether the database have a free space. If the free space is available, it will try to release to the operating system. Okay, that is called shrinking the database. Let me quickly show you. Go to task. These options again we will discuss in detail. You can shrink for the database. See here, currently allocated 3 MB. Out of 3 MB, how much free space is available? 2.16 is free space is available. Okay, so if auto shrink is enabled, what it will do? It will run in the background. It will try to release any unused free space in the database. Now if I run auto growth, it will not release. Any idea why? Because the database is empty. It doesn't have any data, only the templates that are copied from model database. Model database says 2 MB for the base mark that it has given as 2 MB for data file, 1 MB for log file. The value currently it is allocated, that is 3 MB. So if you shrink also, it will not release. Let us run it. We will see any results. 3.47. Yes. Yeah, we will see that we will in the database we will create a data. Okay, we will add records to it. Okay, so that the database will grow. We will observe the database growth, like how it is growing, and then we will remove the data from the database, so that the data in the database we will have free space, because we will have a free pages whenever the data is dropped from the database. So we will try to remove those empty unused space by shrinking. Next, here we are seeing the databases, right? What state these databases are in? Okay, same question I will ask. In this screen you are seeing many services. What state my SQL Server service is in?
SQL Server instance 2.
Yeah, yes, correct. That instance 2 is in what state?
State means
Like active or something.
Yes, kind of. Okay. Let me put the word like status.
Started. Running.
running state.
Okay. Yes. Can I say my SQL Server service is online? Status is online running?
Yeah, it's running state. Yes.
Yes, running state. So now tell me what status my database is in. So I told the status of services running, pause, stop, disable, but I haven't tell the database states, right? Okay. Just click on F5. You will see database options. You will see database name, database size, owner of the database ID, database when the database was created, and the status. Let me copy here. So all these are database options. I haven't specified these options. How it came? This came from by default. It came from model database. These things we will not use. Yeah. See, status is online. Correct. My database is online. So any guess what other states?
Read or write it text data or update ability. It's ready
That
to
is
take the
other.
data.
Yeah, this is other option. Read, write, or updatability. Okay, that one we will discuss. And status. So the status is database status is online, offline, or suspect. These three statuses are available in SQL Server. A database, if it is online, okay, we can able to make a connections on it. If the database is offline, we cannot make a connections to it. If database is suspected, any corruption in the database pages or within the database will be in a suspect state. That is unhealthy database. Okay, the database, it can be either online, offline.
Okay.
So now the database is offline. I cannot read the data from the database.
Okay.
The data is blank. Why it is coming blank? The metadata, the query which the store procedure which I executed is coming from metadata of the database. So where that metadata is available? In MDF file of that user database. Now see the primary file. The primary data file contains the startup information for the database and pointers to the other files. Correct. If I here this MDF file is not accessible, how will you get other details? No, right? So that's the reason. If you run this sp_help_db of database name, this query is coming from metadata of that user database. Correct. Now I will try to run select star from sys databases. If you see here, your student database is reporting. From where this data is coming? This data is coming from sys database is coming from data is coming from your system database master. Right? data. This data is saved in master. Metadata, data about his own objects, is available in user database. Student file in administrative department, student ID card, right? So ID card is nothing but a metadata. So still his details are coming. Now if I check the status of the database, the status of check the database is offline. So if you see here, the database status ID number has been changed to 66048. If it is online databases, 65536. A unique status has been given to each status. Next, SP underscore help DB of database has given a blank result. It hasn't given any detail. Database is offline. Now what I will do, I'll try to create a table in it. What will happen? The database is not available. How will you create it? Right? If you try to connect the database, the application throws error. What error? The database is not online. Now bringing back to online. Go to task, bring database online. Okay, that is the status. The database status can be online, offline, suspected. Online means it's up and ready to accept the connections. Offline, the database is down. Suspect, if any corruption, database is not healthy, the database will be turned into suspect mode. Correct? Next, updatability. Now my database is ready to accept the reads and writes. I can able to read the data from the database and I can write into the database. Writing nothing but adding a data into database in the form of tables. Right? I added some data. Database is yellowed. Write operations. That means I can able to write the data in it. Select star from. I am reading from the table. It will throw error because the object does not exist in database. Because this query is running in other database, I have to map to. Correct. My database is in, my data is in our this user database. Currently query is executing in this database. Yeah, so currently it is running in master database. I need to switch the database to student database. How can I switch? Naga, do you remember how can I switch to database name?
No.
Use database name or database name dot dot schema name dot object name. So other day when we are trying to run a few of the system procedures against master database, those are executing. If I run the same command from any other user database, we are getting error like the object does not exist, invalid object name. At the time what we did, we changed the database name. So let us say my database is now in students, right? If I use students, the current database is changed. If you see here, it is currently executing in master database. The connection ID is 53. Who connected it? The username. On which instance he connected? The instance name. What is the result of your query? Query completed with errors. And now use student's name, that is you use database name. If I run it, execute it, query completed. As soon as you run it, your session change it to set it to the database under your required database. Previously it was running under master database. Yes. Now if you run the select statement, you will see the results. So this is where you can switch to your database. That is one way. The other way, let me go back to master.
Go students.
Second one. Yeah, the other one I am explaining now. So you can use database name dot and schema name dot object name. So in this current example, the database name is students, the schema name is DBO, the object name is table 1. Correct? So I will give the same thing. You can just drag and drop. See? So now the database is still it pointed to this session. Session means the session 53 is pointing to 53. Okay. Select star from students dot dbo dot table 1. I'm executing it. Not server students. Okay. Server dot.
Yeah.
Single dot. See.
Yeah, usually we write in SQL select start from students. Now we are adding DBO dot table. Both we are adding.
The reason why is this particular table should be available. I mean, this query, where we are running should be in the against database. So if you see here, this database is pointing to master. Correct?
Yeah.
This object does not exist in master. This object is available in other database. That's why first you have to point to database and then you have to execute it. So for that, first what I did, I pointed to the database and then I executed the query. It gave the result. The other way is, rather than using the use statement, you can use like this: database name dot schema name dot object name. Automatically, even though this is session pointing to master database, when it is executing this statement, it connect to provided database and it will try to read the data from provided object name.
Yeah.
Correct? If I don't use database name, you see previously what error we have received, again we will get. What error it says? It says object invalid object name. Why invalid object name? It is trying to find the object name in this database. Correct? Available database.
If you give only students, select start from students, it's going to show error again.
Okay, good question. What is students?
It's a
what is students?
We created a
okay. Okay. So I want to write data into a book. Where I will write?
Yeah,
If I want to read the data from book, where I will read? Where I will fetch?
yeah, got it. Yeah,
So inside the page, right? Inside the object, I will fetch it. Correct?
yeah,
The
yeah,
database objects are available in the database. So if I give select star from database, what that means? Select star means total. Star means total from
total from database.
object.
Yeah,
Yes. From database, what you are going to fetch? You are not that is not a object. Database is not a database object, right? Database
yeah,
is a group or a bunch of database objects we can
object.
create in the database. Database is a parent.
Yeah,
If you see the hierarchy, database is a roof. Inside the roof, we are keeping all these database objects.
yes, yeah,
So if we give the students, it will try to consider that as a database object. It will check whether the database object is there or not. If the
oh,
database object is not present, it will throw error.
okay,
Your
okay.
I will stu execute.
You can standard.
Hello?
Hello, yeah.
Yeah, organizer is experiencing technical difficulties. Unless the organizer rejects, the meeting will end in 5 minutes. The presenter, you are no longer the presenter. Let me inform that. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, so audio is working fine, but I mean, I couldn't able to share my screen. Even though Dharma made me as a presenter, since he had a network connectivity, so the screen share was lost.
Okay.
He's reconnecting again.
Okay.
Okay. Meanwhile, we will. So these are the database options: auto close, auto shrink, recovery model, and database mode, read write. Okay. So now what we did, Naga, you are trying to ask some question.
No. I'm just asking that there is a break, right? So in the break, whatever you done before, I just want. If you get a chance, can you repeat that? No, you're trying to tell something, right? Go ahead.
Yeah. No, we haven't discussed any new topic, so we just recap the yesterday's session.
Oh, okay.
Yes, updatability. Updatability is read write. So that means now we created a new table and then we selected the data from it in it. Correct. So that
Yeah.
means my database is in read write mode.
Yeah.
So and the other mode is read mode. That means only the database can accept reads. It will not accept writes. Okay, we can keep the database in read only mode. Okay, the status is online, offline, suspect. Updatability modes are read write or read only. We will so that we cannot able to write the data in it. Why we need read only database? Do we really require read only database? In which scenarios we need read only database?
Maybe the database memory is full.
No. Okay. We will get our monthly statements in your online banking, correct? So past history, 1 month data, 6 months back data, 1 year data, correct? So if I keep a database, old data in a database, the reporting database, if I make it that as a read only, my users can fetch the data from the reporting read only database, correct? So in the database, if the no modifications are required, no modifications are needed, so now I cannot do any modification on the past transaction, correct? That is only for reporting purpose. So in that case, I can keep the database in read only. That is one. Second, if I don't want anyone else to write the data into my database, I'll keep the database in read only mode. One is if I want to use the database purposefully, restricting others to not write in it. The second one is that is the functionality, but to use the database for the reporting to fetch the data only, then I can keep the database in read only. So that if we keep the database, none of the user can able to write the database in it. Just they can read the data. Next, user access. In the user access, you have two types, that is multi-user and single user. What is multi-user?
Can you repeat that question again, Cindy?
Yes, user access, that is multi-user and single user.
Security base, we keep access to some users.
Okay, so can our session is a single user session or multi-user session? I mean, currently we are taking a training session. Okay, so can we call this session as multi-user session?
Yeah.
Because multiple people are participating, multiple peoples are involving in it, right?
Yeah.
When we say that is a single single user session?
Only one hour in.
Yeah, myself will join to go to meeting. If myself presenting and if myself speaking, myself listening the class, then it is a single user session.
Yeah.
So please don't say why you have to log into go to meeting to speak myself. Similarly, SQL Server single user mode and multi-user mode. So that means if you keep the database in a multi-user mode, multiple users can able to connect to your SQL Server database.
Yeah.
Okay. If you still remember, in SQL Server instance level properties, there is one option to minimize, to restrict connection to your SQL Server. Can anyone tell that option, that parameter? Yeah, maybe if you are in front of system, you can quickly navigate to instance level properties and you can check and tell me.
In my system, I don't have SQL Server now. I'm using with another system.
Okay. So the data is flushed from memory. Okay. What about Pujita?
You want me to go to Java?
No, I am not telling you to go anywhere. I mean, I just asked one question. So if you are unable to recall our previous session, you can navigate to instance level properties. Try to find where that option is. So my question is user restriction. In our database, user access we can set as single user as a single user or multi-user. Similarly, in SQL Server instance, we can customize the connection to the SQL Server instance. You can limit the number of connections to the SQL instance. Where we can do it. Yes. Right click on an instance, select the properties, go to connections. You can see maximum allowed connection to the SQL Server instance. That is set to 0. 0 nothing but unlimited. So that means your SQL Server can allow unlimited connections depending upon the compatible, resources, that is CPU and memory. That if you give one there, only one user can connect, right? In the SQL Server connections, by default value is 0. That means unlimited number of users can able to connect to the SQL Server instance. Similarly, if the database, if you keep in multi-user mode, multiple users at the same time, they can able to access their database. You can set the data, you can minimize the connections in the instance level, also in the database level. But in the database level, either you can keep
training session 6
Yeah,
recorded.
sure. Yeah, yesterday's one and today's one he will send.
Yesterday one we already got. Session 7 we got, and I'm waiting for session 6.
Okay, session 6 and the session, I mean, that means the day before yesterday's and yesterday's one merged together and he sent. That is system database session. What we discussed the day before yesterday, that was merged in yesterday's one.
Oh, okay. But I see only 1.5 hour session. That's why I ask you.
Yeah, it was not recorded. That's why, if you remember yesterday, I spent more time on system databases
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Maybe you people might have felt poor, so because of that, I had to take a little longer time.
And today's session, there is a problem, right? Got recorded properly.
Yes, from till 10 minutes back, that session was recorded. So now I don't think it will be get recorded. Okay. So coming to the database properties, the database status can be online, offline system. Updatability is read-write or read-only. The user access multi-user or single user. If the database is set to single user, so only the database can allow only one connection. That is only one session. If one session or one user already connect, if another user tries to connect, it will throw error like the database is set to single user. The new connection will not be able until the existing connection is removed
Srinivas,
or agreed.
your voice is not clear.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of noises. Can someone can you please keep on mute for no noises? Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes.
Sirisha?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So user access, when you keep the database in single user mode, the session will connect. The database will allow only one user to perform. So in which scenarios will keep the database in single user mode? Any guess? Let us say I'm doing a maintenance activity on the database. If I don't, if I keep allow the database to use multiple users, they will read the data and they will write the data. It will unnecessarily it will interrupt my work. So I don't want to allow any user to access the database. So in that case, I can keep the database in single user mode. Once I am done with my work, I'll allow other users to connect it. Right. So I want to perform any operations on a database specifically by not allowing other connections. In that case, you can keep the database in single user mode. Then only one connection is allowed. If you keep the database in multi-user, multiple users at a simultaneously at a time, they can able to connect to the database server. Next, the recovery is, in SQL Server we have three kinds of recoveries. One is full recovery, simple recovery, and the other one is bulk log recovery. So based on this recovery model, the data will be writing onto the database. Okay, so based on the recovery model which we select, the data, how fast it is writing onto the disk, and how it is in which channels the data is logging, and then how it is writing onto the disk is depend. A database should have at least either of full recovery model or bulk log recovery model, simple recovery model. In tomorrow's class, we will discuss more about the recovery model. Okay, because based on the recovery model, you will have a database recovery and backups. So this database, few types of backups is especially allowed in full backups. So that's why we'll spend little more time on recovery model to understand the concept. In today's session, we discuss the database options, auto growth, those that is related to the files. We can make the files automatically grow. The second one is that is sleep mode. I told like it's kind of a database sleep mode, but that is
Hello?
auto
Auto
close.
close.
Yes, yes, and releasing unused space from the database, that is
Auto
shrink,
shrink.
auto shrink. Yes, and then database status, online offline suspect, and user access, multi-user, single user, updatability, read write or read only. And the other one is compatibility, that is database compatibility 100, that is 2008. If it is set to 90, the compatibility is set to 2005. So these are the few database options which we regularly work. There are different database options, so don't get confused with all the options. So we discuss which we use regularly. Okay, so for this, all these database options, as soon as we start our session tomorrow, we will go through the demonstration, and then we will start our recovery models, and then we will proceed with the next topics. Okay, any questions in today's discussion? Yeah, if no questions, we can wind up the call. Pooja, if you want, I can help you so to address the connection issue what you are having.
Yeah, actually, we have a tornado warning here, so there is no correct internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main
Okay.
reason we are unable to connect properly today.
Okay, okay.
So maybe in
Fine.
tomorrow class, I think you can fix it. I'll try once again today.
Yeah, I
If it's
see
good.
from what I understand is, so you have installed the SQL Server in mixed mode, right? That means
Yeah.
SQL authentication mixed mode, and while connecting the SQL Server, you are giving a username and giving the password. So I'm
Yeah, but
that is what username you are giving there?
which I gave while installation.
Yeah, what is that?
Pooja.
Yes. Okay. So at the time of installation, when you select the authentication mode, Windows authentication, only current user will have access to the SQL Server. If you select mixed mode, that is SQL mode and Windows mode, along with the current user, you can add any Windows user plus built-in SQL administrator credentials will mention. So the built-in SQL Server credential is SA, System Administrator.
Okay.
So you have to use the login name as SA and the password to connect the SQL Server in a SQL authentication after you are done with the SQL Server installation. So since here you are using the name as SQL Server name, not the login name you are giving. So you gave the username and password. You have given the instance name, and then you selected the SQL authentication, and then you are giving a login name as Pooja. So now you give the login name as SCA and give the password and try to connect it.
Okay.
Okay, and if you still encounter the problem, you go to the SQL Server error logs where it is available in C program files. Right? Sometime in the morning we navigated the log directory. So go to log directory and open the latest error log, and copy the last error message content.
Okay? Yeah, actually, just now I tried with SA and I got connected.
Okay. So now can you able to understand what was the issue? Previously you are trying to connect the login which doesn't exist. If you see the error logs, it clearly says the login name does not exist in the SQL Server. Correct. So in the SQL Server you have only
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Able to hear me?
Yeah.
Able to hear me? Yeah. So previously you are using a wrong login name. That's why you are unable to. If you can log in, if you can check the SQL Server error logs, it will clearly mention like the login name that we are using does not exist in the SQL Server. Okay. So at the time of installation, you provided only two, that is Windows type 1 current user, and in SQL side only SA. After the installation, you can able to connect by using only two users, that is current user or SA. But what you did, you have used other login to connect the SQL Server. That's why you got the error. Now after the connection, you can add multiple users. That in security we will cover how to add a login, how to grant permissions to new user. Security till security topic, we will discuss those things. Are you clear now?
Yeah, clear.
Yes. If you want that complete error message, just go to SQL Server error logs and read the log message. That will give you the clear picture.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys. We will wind up this and catch you tomorrow same time. That is 9 EST. Sorry, 9:30.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.